Hi, I'm Angelica, and today I'm doing my presentation on regional Filipino food. So, the Philippines is a country comprised over 7,100 islands stretching over the South China and Philippine Sea. Its location has enabled it to be a fusion ground of a variety of cultures. On the right, we have a picture of a map of the Philippine Islands and some brief history. At around 3200, Malayo-Polynesians brought rice, which is a staple ingredient for Filipinos. They brought over farming and cooking methods, such as boiling, roasting over a fire, and steaming. In 960 to 1279 AD, China established trading posts in Philippine coastal cities. So with that, new ingredients and cooking methods were adapted by Filipinos over time. This included the use of soy sauce, bean sprouts, lemongrass, and fish sauce. A staple Filipino food, pancit, which is what many people think of when you say Filipino food, was actually adapted after the Chinese introduced them to noodles. In the early 1500s, Ferdinand Magellan claimed the Philippines for Spain, which enabled Spanish culture to influence the Filipinos in introducing them to new ways of cooking, such as sautéing and braising. They showed them new ingredients such as garlic, onions, tomatoes, and to New World staples such as corn and potatoes. Over time, Spanish staple dishes have been adapted into Filipino culture. Dishes such as paella, embutido, leche flan, and adobo. So I chose to do my project on Filipino food culture because my parents and I do not have any immediate family here, and having Filipino food has given me a connection to my heritage. There's also something special about seeing how food brings people together, and I wanted to learn more about the diversity in the Filipino cuisines. Geography and climate. The Philippines' climate consists of high temperatures, high humidity, and abundant rainfall. Due to its terrain and tropical condition, farming and fisheries have been the largest agricultural subsectors in the Philippines. Crops can be grown throughout the year in the country's rich and fertile soils. The principal farm products are sugarcane, rice, coconuts, bananas, corn, and pineapples. Additional products include mangoes, citrus, papayas, and other tropical fruits. We also have coffee and tobacco. The central plains in the country, in central and north central Luzon, has made rice their principal crop. The 7,000 islands that make up the Philippines makes fish a significant proportion of protein in the Filipino diet, and fisheries have been growing slowly but steadily since the early 1900s. So on the left, we have the mango farms. The right, we have coconut farms. The left shows central rice plains, and the bottom right picture shows fishermen. So the 7,100 islands can be divided into three main regions. Luzon, the largest northernmost island, which includes Manila, the capital. A group of islands called the Visayas, made up of Cebu, Bohol, and Masbate. And Mindanao is the southern region of the Philippines, and it's the second largest island. So first, in the northern Philippines, we have Luzon. Luzon leads the country in agriculture, including rice, corn, coconuts, sugarcane, mangoes, and bananas. The Central Plain stretches 100 miles north of Manila and is the major grain-producing region. Farther north are the spectacular rice terraces, and there are also extensive coconut plantations on the Bicol and Bondok peninsulas. Bicol, Laguna, Rizal are abundant in coconut produce, so you will notice the use of coconut juice and meat and milk in most of their dishes. On one hand, provinces that are surrounded by bodies of water, which include Batangas and Malabon, dominantly make use of seafood in their daily food preparation. As I said, the province of Bicol has an abundance of coconut, and its surrounding waters allows crab to be available all year round. Gintaang alimango is fresh crab cooked with a rich and creamy coconut milk and chili sauce over rice. Bicol actually popularized the use of chili and coconut together, which can be seen in varieties of this dish. So similarly, laing, the picture on the right, is a rich and creamy dish made with taro leaves, boiled in coconut milk, and again with lots of chilies. Coconuts are not only used in savory dishes, but also in dessert. Suman, which is pictured on the right, is a glutinous rice cake that is wrapped with either coconut leaves or banana leaves, then it's steamed. It's typically sprinkled with latik, which is made through boiling coconut milk on low heat, constantly mixing and waiting for it to curdle. The versatility of coconut is definitely seen through the wide ranges of these tasty dishes. Finally, after a long day at the pool or in bed during a cold, rainy day, there's nothing more comforting than eating a bowl of bulalo. Batangas, in the northern region of Luzon, is the cattle business capital of the country. So it's no surprise that this delicious soup originated there. It's a simple dish consisting of beef shank and broth, corn, onion, and bok choy, typically served with rice. Now we have Central Philippines, Visayas. High mountains and hills characterize most of the Visayan islands. Panay has extensive eastern plains where sugarcane and rice are farmed. Corn, coconuts, bananas, tobacco, abaca, and root crops are also widely grown. Fishing is also very important in the Visayas. Hog or pig, chicken, and chicken eggs are also the majority commodities of the region. Pictured on the left is the beautiful chocolate hills of the Visayas. At any special Filipino event, lechon is definitely a staple dish. At fiestas, parties, anniversaries, people line up to get their share. Lechon is a whole roasted pig that can be found at different parts of the world, but many argue that Cebu, a province in the Philippines, is the best you could find. It is stuffed with lemongrass, tamarind, garlic, onions, and chives, and then roasted on a large bamboo splint over an open fire. The crispy outer skin and moist tender belly are arguably the best part of lechon. Binakol is a Filipino chicken soup made from chicken cooked in coconut water with grated coconut, green papaya, leafy vegetables, garlic, onion, ginger, lemongrass, and fish sauce. What makes this Visayan cuisine treat really tasty is the use of native chicken, which is known to be more flavorful than common poultry. Because the native chickens are also tougher, it actually takes several hours to cook to make the meat tender and to release all its flavors. Again, we have another chicken dish. Chicken inasal is basically barbecue chicken, but it's one of the most infamous dishes in the Visayas. It is marinated with a mixture of calamansi, which is like a Filipino lemon or lime, pepper, coconut vinegar, and annatto. Then it's grilled over hot coals while basted in the marinade. Like most Filipino dishes, chicken inasal is served over steamed rice. The Philippines, Mindanao. Many areas of Mindanao are made of rugged, faulted mountains of volcanoes that occur in many areas. Mount Apo, which is pictured on the left, is an active volcano in the southern part of the Central Islands. The islands has narrow coastal plain and broad, fertile basins and extensive swamps. Mindanao is actually closer to that of Malayo neighbors such as Malaysia, Indonesia, Brunei, and Thailand in terms of taste because of the use of different exotic spices. So the main crops are rice, corn, bananas, and pineapples. As a predominantly Muslim region, pork dishes are rare, but Mindanao is actually the top contributor of the country's fishing production, so it's abundant in seafood. This is caracha. It's a spanner or frog crab, a crustacean hybrid native to the waters of Zamboanga and Sulu. It can be cooked with sauce or steamed plain. On the left, we have payang. Although it looks burnt, this chicken is actually cooked with ground burnt coconut alongside turmeric, onions, lemongrass, ginger, siling, haba, chilies, garlic, and coconut milk. The cultural influence from Thailand, Brunei, and Malaysia is found in the use of a curry paste made from the blackened coconut. Rendang is described as a rich, tender coconut beef stew originating from Indonesia, but adapted by the southern Philippines. It is prepared by crushing spices before frying and cooking it with the beef and coconut milk. This dish is also described as a caramelized curry. Okay, lastly, these are my resources, and thank you for listening.